Okay, so tonight we are starting a new thing at Trading Post in the Woods, and it is our special live events that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a few of these each month in the attempt to help people who are really wanting to get prepared. And I have been blessed to work around the United States and with people overseas. And I've just been able to meet awesome, wonderful people with lots of knowledge, skill, abilities, and just different items that will be a blessing to you all, especially if you really want to be prepared or just improve your everyday life. So I wanted to start it off with Allan Riggs. Allan has an amazing bio, but that's not what I'm going to share with you as I introduce Allan. Okay, I'm going to embarrass Allan here a moment. Allan, I met him a few years ago when I was speaking as a guest speaker at an event, and he had a really unique item I never thought could really work. So,
and she told me so. Yeah.
And I did. I told him so, and I told him we would put it through the ringer. And if it worked, I was going to be his #1 fan. And if it didn't work, well, then nobody would hear about it. But what I have come to know of Allan over the last several years is that not only is he a genius, which he will debate, but he really is a genius, but also he has a heart bigger than anybody I've ever met. I love this man and his wife. They have become instrumental in our disaster relief efforts that we have done. Allan and his wife have helped to equip us with these GMAGs so that we could get them into the hands of the people who are really suffering. And so to me, this is an item. After we had field tested this thing, I knew this was an item that needed to be in every household, not just in the United States, but around the world. And so it was only fitting that Allan would be the first person on that we would do this special live event with. So Allan, thank you.
Thank you
for joining us tonight. And thank you for putting up with me as I was putting you through the ringer, trying to make sure that your unit really worked the way that you knew it did.
Does it?
But
I don't think you said that it works.
I'm sorry?
I don't think you said that it worked great.
It works. Awesome. Oh. Okay. And I will tell you this. Here's a funny story of Allan and I. You know, after we had field tested Allan's unit, I have to do this, Allan. After we had field tested Allan's unit, and I went to him and I said, you know, we have this saying in the disaster area, if you have an item and only one and it fails on you, then basically you have nothing. And I said, it works great. Okay. We've tried it. We've tested it. We've done all sorts of things with this unit. It's die hard and it's doing exactly what you say it's going to do. But what if somebody doesn't have salt or water? Right? I have to have a backup plan. And Allan looked at me and said, well, that's not a problem. Just use your urine. And I'm like, you can use your urine? He's like, yes. And I'm like, sold. Okay. The fact that you have a backup. And the beautiful thing is I'm going to let Allan explain. We have a video and Allan's going to talk you through and he's going to give you all the technical. I'm going to tell you firsthand why this unit is so important and how I have seen it be beneficial in disaster areas. But it truly is an amazing product. From the bottom of my heart, I truly tell you, if you want to be prepared, you need GMAG. And if you want to save yourself money every single month, you need a GMAG, okay? Just a great unit. So, Allan, I'm going to turn the floor over to you. When you're ready to go ahead and show that video, go ahead and show it. And then we'll go ahead and bring everybody else back on. Okay?
Thanks, Eve. It's good to be here. Hi, everybody. This is my first go-around on this. I had a video from before that kind of showed how the thing works and how you make it work. and it is a little long and that sort of thing. So Eve asked that I do one, and I did it today. So it's not as good as I want it to be, but it kind of shows you how to make the thing work. We built this so that people would have an alternative to just throw away batteries. It's very, very powerful. I happen to have one. It's this big. We have these green batteries in here because my wife thinks the colors go better with the black charger. This thing weighs about 10 ounces by itself, and with the batteries it weighs about a pound. In the back here are replaceable anodes. You can just pull these out, and when they're all used up, you just discard them and put in a whole new set. And each one of these sets of power pucks will charge about 300 1,000 milliamp hour AA batteries. Very, very powerful. So let me show you my video. If you have any questions at all, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And if I can figure out how to use this, hold on a second.
We rehearsed it. You know how.
We'll see if the training worked or not. There you have it, I think. Hi, this is a Greennovative Power Cell. This amazing device makes power anytime, anywhere, in any weather, day or night, just by adding a little bit of salt and a little bit of water to the unit. These are replaceable power pucks, and each pair of these will charge about 300 AA batteries. It weighs about 10 ounces by itself, and with the batteries, it weighs about a pound. So let me show you how it works. This unit, I just put salt and water in it, but what you do is you take off this plug and you put in 2 teaspoons of ordinary table salt. Put it in the top here. You pull out that plug and you add water until it just dribbles out this hole right here. Put the plugs back in it. Shake it for just a little bit, and it instantly makes electricity. It's running this motor, it's running this light, and it will charge 6 AA batteries in about 4 hours. Anytime, anywhere, in any weather, day or night. And all it takes is a little bit of salt and a little bit of water, and it makes power. It lasts on the shelf indefinitely, and it comes with replaceable power pucks. And these just plug into the back. When they're done, you just take them out, replace them, and do it all over again. It makes power anytime, anywhere, in any weather, day or night, and all you need is a little bit of salt and a little bit of water.
Okay, Allan, as you put our screen back, there's something that you do when I hear you speak, where you take those extra pucks, right? Okay. And you pop those in your pocket, and you talk about the amount of batteries that just by taking some of these pucks, how many batteries does that replace?
These right here, this 2 pairs of pucks, it weighs about 4 ounces. They're equivalent to 300 1,000 milliamp hour batteries. And normally I have a stack of 3 of them and hand them to somebody and say, here, you're holding 900 AA batteries in your hand, the equivalent of 900. 900 batteries would weigh about almost 60 pounds. So you can carry around 4 ounces, or you can carry around about 40 pounds worth of batteries if you have 300 of them.
Okay, and so this is where I love to talk to people, and you know, we've just gone through those 3 hurricanes, and you were sacked by Irma, we were sacked by Irma. people in Puerto Rico, I mean, we had a crazy hurricane response season. And with Maria, as you know, since you were working hand in hand with us there, batteries were gone. I mean, batteries before that storm even passed, people couldn't get batteries anymore. The crazy thing was that people in Puerto Rico, a lot of them believed that that storm was not, they weren't going to take a direct hit. And so a lot of people didn't prepare, but you're on an island, right? And so when things are gone, they're gone. And praise God, we had units to get into the hands of people over there in Puerto Rico. But a lot of places right now still don't have electricity. Not everybody in Puerto Rico has electricity. And we have some missionary friends over there right now. And they saw your unit and they were all excited. So we're going to be shipping some out to them as well, because they're still in an area with no electricity. But just imagine if you're trying to prepare, right? Really, honestly, how many batteries would you have to go 4, 5, 6, 7 months without any sort of electricity? Now, Allan, one thing you haven't talked about is this. Okay, so if you can, do you see it? The adapters.
I don't have any. I don't have them right with me. I can run and get some. Those are battery adapters.
I'm going to hold them up so they can see them.
Okay.
First, let me show you. Okay, so this is basically a set of 4.
She has a set of 4, but inside each, those are AA to D adapters and AA to C adapters, and we also have inside those AAA to AA adapters. So all the batteries are covered from AAA to D, and you can put a AAA battery. The batteries that we send out with a package are 6 2,000 milliamp hour batteries, big rechargeables, 6 1,000 milliamp hour AA batteries, and 6 1,000 milliamp hour AAA batteries, the same power as the AA's. So you put the AAA's in the AAA to AA adapter, and now it's a AA battery. You can use it exactly like a AA battery, or you can pop it out and use it like a AAA. Lots of devices are going to AAA batteries. So we have one package we call the complete. Let me back up for a second. We've been on with Hagman and Hagman for a long time. And we started there, and we had a thing we called the Works that had a couple of battery adapters and a cell phone charger. All of our packages come with a cell phone charger, except the standalone charger. And people kept calling us and saying, well, I need more batteries, or I need more adapters, or I need more of this, or I need more of that. So the packages got bigger and bigger and bigger to accommodate the things that people were asking for. So we have one now we call the Complete that has all of the things in one place that people had asked for. So it comes with 18 batteries and about that many adapters. So all the batteries are covered, all the different kinds from AAA to D. It lasts on the shelf indefinitely. The pucks don't go bad for years and years and years and years. So when you need it, whether it's 5 weeks from now or 5 years from now or 20 years from now, it's good to go. And just a little vignette. Hurricane Matthew came through here, October-ish, I think, last year. And we stayed. It missed us. So I thought I'd just drive around and see who had batteries. So the closest place was Family Dollar Store. I went in there. They had nothing. The shelves were completely bare. Mm-hmm. Walmart's shelves were completely bare. Home Depot's shelves were completely bare. The other one, what's the name of the other guy? The other...
Lowe's
was completely bare. I mean, there was nothing. People just took everything that was on the shelves. So I think after a big storm like that, if you don't have it, you can't get it.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
And Eve's mantra, 1 is none, 2 is 1, always applies.
Okay, so can I add this in there? Okay, so as Allan's talking the technical thing, I work from simplicity. I know that I can take these batteries and I can make my radio work. I can make a nebulizer work. It doesn't matter what size, really. I know I can make it work. So when you start to think about it, it's like, wow, I just lighten my bag Okay. But I've also saved myself a fortune. And that's why I'm like, Alan, you're a genius. Okay. I just love you. Right. So this has been amazing tool to have. And that's why I am so surprised that more people haven't heard about it, because what a lifesaver. I know when people got it in Puerto Rico, or when people got it during Irma or Harvey, and then in other disaster events in years prior, they were so grateful and so amazed, really, that it didn't matter. Here, all they had to have were some batteries, and now they could turn it into whatever it was that they needed. Okay, and so to me, I'm like, wow, you know, just such an amazing thing. I know we have some questions coming in. So as questions come in, we are going to go ahead and address them, or, you know, we'll wait a little bit and talk about it. But, you know, one of the things that Alan and I also wanted to talk about was, you know, when I saw Alan and he was first sharing it, I know he always has a fan, and he would show the fan working. But being a first responder, I'd look and seriously go, wow, nebulizer, okay, you know, a blood pressure cuff, different items that could, you know, people need for their health these days. And though a fan is great, because when it's 105 degrees outside after a hurricane's gone through in the south, and you feel like you're going to have, you know, heat stroke, you want that fan. But there are so many different things. And we were talking about, you know, people plan and they get the solar, they'll get solar battery or solar charged, like flashlights, okay, or the ones that shake. Okay, those things there, I tell people, seriously, you don't want those. First of all, they don't work well at all. And if you have never pulled yours out and tried it, you need to, and then you'll throw it in the garbage can. You know, so Alan, you know, first of all, thank you. Thank you for coming up with this item. And, you know, is there anything else that you want people to know? I mean, I can talk on and on about how much I love this thing.
Okay, give me a minute. I want to be absolutely fair.
Okay.
Solar chargers are fine. They work best between about 10 and 2, 10 in the morning to about 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Wind chargers work fine when the wind's blowing. The hand crank chargers work fine if you have a lot of grandchildren. After about 10 minutes, it's not fun anymore. Maybe 5 minutes.
No, it doesn't work well at all, Alan.
but you know, if that's all you have, then it is something.
Okay, that's a backup to a backup to a backup. Okay.
I didn't want to argue. I just wanted to make a point. I don't want to argue.
I know you are. Thank you.
The other thing I would say is in a number of shows, people say, I don't need any of this stuff because I have a generator. So I'd like to walk down that path with you for a second. Having a generator is great. If you have one, it's great. It's good as long as you can refill the gas tank when it goes empty. And some other considerations you may have, if it's really getting bad, you may not want the noise. You may not want people to hear that you have a generator. But it works fine. I mean, the generator is great. It does lots of things. It keeps the refrigerator running and all of that sort of stuff. But when you're past that or you're out of gas, you're back to the basics all over again. So following Eve's mantra of 1 is none, 2 is 1, if you have a backup to your generator that's going to run everything that you can rely on, that's a good thing to have in the cupboard.
You know what? And I love that you brought up about generators, because even for us during Irma, even though we ran our generator during the day when people were out with chainsaws and working and there was a lot of noise. But come nighttime, we cut off our generator because we did not want to publicize the fact that we had that. And so everything was run by battery power. And then during the day, so during disaster, you are not wanting to draw attention to you. And from calls that we got during Maria, people were really concerned about that. There was such a shortage on so much stuff, especially batteries. I mean, the boxes that were being shipped to Puerto Rico were actually being torn open before they even arrived to somebody's home. And all the batteries were being taken out of it because there was such a shortage. So if you were sending from them, from here over there, there's a really good chance your family members or friends or whatever didn't get their batteries. So, but they were also trying to not be noticed, and that's a really important thing. May I share about my new book coming out, Allan?
Sure.
Okay. So for those of you, and I think almost everybody on here has either seen me speak at an event, maybe have read my book. Some family member has dragged you onto this Zoom chat, who knows? But I have a passion because I was so tired of dead bodies and victims. And when I met Allan, it was such a refreshing moment in my life, really, because all I wanted to do was be able to help people, and Allan equipped me with something to help really make an impact in people's lives. And I have a new book coming out. Praise God, I just finished it, and it will be going to my publisher tomorrow, and then it'll go through the long, terrible editing process. But in my book, I talk about having to address fears. And the book, I was given a challenge to go out into the wilderness, basically. So I'm not going to give my book away, but I had to go out there. And one thing I had to do was look at the fear, any fears that I might have, and address that. And for me, being out in the wilderness, in the dark, not being able to see what's around me, was a fear. I mean, ever since I was a child, I was afraid of the dark. And now I'm going into the wilderness. Okay, you got to be kidding me. I'm not an adventurous. And so in the book, I talk about the GMAG because that was my tool to help with my fear. And so as I tell people, fears can be dealt with, and game plans can be made. And so whether it might be a little child who's afraid of the dark, and you give them a flashlight and they run that flashlight all night long, you don't have to worry about it, because you can keep the next morning, stick some salt and water into that unit and charge them. But part of preparedness is really looking at all aspects. And so in the book, I mention that because truly, it was such a gift. And knowing that I don't have to worry, am I going to be stuck in the dark somewhere without a way, my batteries die. And so my option was going to be, because we were trekking things in, I could only take so many batteries, which meant I was not going to be able to run a flashlight or anything as much as I wanted to. But the GMAG made it so that I could run it anytime I wanted to. And even though I didn't use my flashlights all the time, I still was blessed with the comfort of knowing I could if I wanted to. So thank you for that, Allan. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let me give you a little input on batteries. Your standard alkaline battery, and it's not stamped on there, is between about 700 to about 1200 milliamp hours. You really don't know what it is. And that'll run a flashlight for probably a couple of months with just normal use. You get it on at night and you're not going to use it all the time. If you use a rechargeable battery of anybody's brand and you can recharge it, that'll run it for about the same amount of time, but it'll do it over and over and over. The new nickel metal hydride batteries that people are making now, everybody is making them. Smaller ones like the AAAs that I told you about can be charged about 900 to 1,000 times. Our 1,000 milliamp hour batteries, anybody's 1,000 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride battery, can be charged 600 to 700 times, and the big ones, the big 2,000 milliamp hour batteries, can be charged 500 to 600 times. So instead of buying all of those batteries, and what a lot of people do is they buy the batteries, they keep them for 3 months, 4 months, they go dead, they throw them out. So I look at it as take $40 and put it on the coffee table and leave it there in January, and then open the front door and throw it out in the yard, and then do it all over again till you get to the end of the year. If you have any kind of a charger and a handful of nickel metal hydride batteries, you have an awful lot of batteries. And they don't weigh anything. They last for a long time. You can recharge them a lot of times. So when you're looking at the big sale in Walmart or Sam's Club or something like that, where you get 40 batteries for $9.95, you got to stop and question, how big are these batteries really? How long are they going to last? It seems like a good deal, but they may not be a good deal. But rechargeables, even as recently as 4 years ago, rechargeable batteries were unreliable. The nickel cadmium batteries, everybody's thrown those away. They just don't perform the way they're supposed to. They have a memory. Sometimes you can't recharge them. If you go online and look up nickel metal hydride batteries, and I know I've said that 30 times, it's been called the new super battery. It's easy to charge. You can't overcharge it. I mean, anybody's manufacturer, you can't overcharge it. It has a little vent valve inside. If you do get to the point where it's going to be overcharged, it just vents itself and it's fine. So they're just good batteries. Have a look at them and get some. And whatever your charger is, even if it's a solar, you're good to go.
Hey, Allan, we've had a few questions come up. Can you go ahead and address those? Because it seems that some of the people have similar questions. Those questions, or do you want me to read them?
Yeah, I see it here. Can other brand of batteries be used? Any brand of batteries can be used. Nickel metal hydride is preferred. A lot of people use lithium batteries, and just think that through.
Cute.
If you have a
Hold on one second. Hold a moment. We have we're going to have somebody.
Do you not have any speakers on your computer?
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of folks have lithium batteries. And if it's normal day-to-day use, that's fine. You have an easy way to charge them. A lithium battery charger is sophisticated. So it needs to ramp it up, then cool it down for a bit, and then charge it slow, then charge it fast again. I personally don't like to charge anything that says charge this battery in an explosion-proof bag. I don't know why. It just doesn't appeal to me. But when the power goes out, it's going to be difficult to charge those unless you got a fancy smancy charger that you can power up from something other than wall power. So if you're a prepper and you're thinking about things that are going to be easy to charge, you might want to go with the standard nickel metal hydrides. Somebody asked me about CR123 batteries and asked if my unit would charge that. My unit won't charge those directly. We charge 1.2 volt batteries. The unit puts out about 3 volts open circuit. A CR123 is a 3 volt battery. Now, if you charge up some AA's and put 4 of them in series, like our cell phone charger is, you get 5 volts exactly out of that, and you made a little clip, maybe alligator clips, you could charge your CR123s with that little 5 volt unit that you have that's your cell phone charger. So there are ways to do it. We just can't do it directly in our unit.
That's what I love about you, Allan. You just know how to rig these things up. Okay, and do that. I
have a tube sock and a paper clip, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you rig things. It's just impressive. So I just absolutely love that. Allan, we have somebody on here tonight. And Brenda, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Because if you're able to unmute yourself, okay, because you have not had the opportunity to meet Brenda, but Brenda's son, I'm going to let you tell her story, or let her tell her story, and just let you hear what she has to say about it. So go ahead, Brenda.
Thank you so much. And I told Allan earlier, I'm really excited to meet you. So nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
You.
One of my sons is, pardon me, one of my sons has been deployed to an area where there is no electricity. in most of the area that he's at. A lot of jungle. So Eve and I were talking about this, and she had told me all about you and about what you had, and I just could not believe that was even possible. And so Eve, with her graciousness, sent my son a unit, and he was able to take that unit with him when he deployed, and has been able to have opportunities that he would not normally have. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. You're genius. You have no idea from a mama's heart, you know, the genius that you put into this, and just your generosity that you have so gone out of your way to make this available to people. And I am such a firm believer. I believe that everyone should have several of these in their home. They're affordable. They're lightweight. My son was able to throw it in his go bag, so it didn't, it didn't have to displace anything of importance, because they have to be very minimal when they run out. So I just wanted to tell you that what a blessing it is, and thank you so much. And I just love that we have this opportunity to actually tell you that it's working. It's life-changing.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Brenda. Okay, so one other thing before we open up for other people to join in and unmute themselves and ask questions. We need to address the fact that you actually can send your units in the mail. Okay. There are a lot of times you cannot ship batteries and everything, but the units can be shipped.
No, don't say that. Don't say you can't ship batteries. You can't send lithium batteries in the mail.
Correct. Okay, yes.
You send nickel metal hydrides in the mail, and somebody commented on that.
Okay, yes, that they can be shipped. So I thought that was important, because we have been shipping these units to all kinds of places, and so they do question when we take it, but they do go through just fine. So just to make sure nobody has that concern. Also, Allan, if we could, you have quite a few different sets out there. I have to say there's one that I'm very passionate about, and that would be the missionary pack. Of course, having been a missionary for 30 years, it is dear to my heart. I see the true value in that. It's just a wonderful package that you put together. I love the fact, too, that you set it up so that people could actually purchase it with the intent for it to go to somebody else. Because there are a lot of missionaries and stuff working overseas in our military. Okay, just like Brenda said, for her son, what a blessing it was. But you have other packs. So is there something big difference between, I know each one, the larger the kit, the more you get, but can you just kind of explain it? And then Allan does have a gift for everybody who's on here. Right now, if you go to his site, it's 14% off for Valentine's Day, but he's going to give you an even bigger discount than that. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Allan, as you're always helping me to help other people get prepared. So I'm grateful. But just if you could quick, just a little bit different of your pack or your kits that you have, I can go ahead and throw it up there, or are you able to? I mean, is there something important about the different kits? I will tell people, I don't think you can ever have enough of these. I love these things.
They're amazing.
First, let's tell them what the discount is. Let's not be, it's no longer a mystery for tonight, or for tonight in the next week or so. Everybody that's listening gets 18% off everything in the store. And the code word is...
Can I say it?
Yes, I wanted you to say it.
Heritage. Yeah, so because we have a kit, the American Heritage Remedies kit. So Alan used the word heritage to go with that. So that was beautiful. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome. So let's talk about from the beginning up. Now all of our units have replaceable anodes. Early on, they didn't. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm not a genius. I'm just not as stupid as I look. So,
Two of us have called you a genius already tonight now, Alan.
The first ones were throwaway units. You could charge about 100, and then we made it bigger to where it charged about 200 batteries, and then you discarded it. And I had a deal. I said, hey, if you use up the thing, mail it back to me with $30, and I'll send you whatever we're making at the time. 2 weeks ago, a guy did that. Say, hey, I love it. Here it is. Send me a new one. So we sent him a new one. And I had a guy call me today. His niece was going to a place with no electricity in the Peace Corps, and he bought her a mission pack.
Awesome.
So starting down at the beginning, we have the unit that's just the charger. It'll charge batteries over and over and over, and it comes with either a double power set of pucks, which will charge about 200 batteries, or triple power pucks, which will charge about 300 batteries. And then we start to add things. The battery adapters, those were a big hit when we brought them out, and a cell phone charger. And it's a clever little device. You charge 4 batteries, and you put them in there in series, and it puts out exactly 5 volts. All of the Apple products are looking for exactly 5 volts. What it does is measure the voltage first before it shakes hands with the charger. So we've solved that issue.
Can I just interrupt on that one?
Sure.
Okay, so funny story, right quick about the cell phone charger. Again, we were putting Alan through the ringer. God bless him, okay? But he endured, right? So he was talking about the cell phone charger, and I'm like, nope, doesn't work. He goes, yes, it does. I said, nope, it doesn't. He said, yes, it does. I said, and he's like, give me your phone. I'm going to charge it for you. So I was crabby that day. What can I say? Okay, it had been a long weekend. So I gave him my phone, and he gave it back to me charged. Okay, it really did work. So he sold me on that one. But anyways, it's those fun moments in life that you learn, and praise God, Alan wasn't crabby that day, because we might have, who knows, we just might have been tossing cell phones at each other,
I don't have many crabby days.
No, you don't. You really don't. I have not seen you with crabby days, Alan. There was one questionable, but you were not. Okay.
Well, I remember once she came and got in my face and said, this won't work. And I said, yes, it will. And she kept going and kept going. And I wanted to say, if you don't believe me, just go away.
But you didn't. You didn't. Okay. So,
let me talk about the progression. The very first step out of the norm that we made, other than the battery charger, was to make a unit we called the Works. It has the charger and the batteries, and we had a couple of battery adapters, AA to D, AA to C, and 4 AAA to AA's, and the cell phone charger. And it comes with a whole lot of adapters, so you can charge iPhones and Droids, a whole bunch of stuff, GPS devices, etc.
Oh.
That was a huge hit. We introduced that on the Hegman show, and we couldn't make them fast enough, but they started asking for more. So then we went to a unit we called the Complete unit, and it had more of all of that stuff. Yeah, that's the cell phone charger right there. It had more of all that stuff, and then we started adding more and more power pucks, and it got unwieldy, and the price was getting too high. So we went back and redid all the pricing. We got it to where it was affordable again, and we used to send it out with 2 sets of power pucks, but we started making the power pucks bigger and bigger. So now we send it out with 1 pair of power pucks, and it saves you money. So when we do add something, we add it at a discount. So when we make the packages, we're a monopoly, so we can do anything we want to do. So we give everybody a discount for everything we add into the package. If you bought them all separately, it would be way more than what you get in the package. So the most recent thing was the mission pack, and my wife and I were talking one day about, oh, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
How can we help people? And we thought of all the missionaries that were out in places that were just destroyed from all of the hurricanes. And I talked to a lady from Washington State. She called me one night and it was late. I was here in the shop. And she said, you know, my daughter was a missionary and she could have used one of these because she was down way deep in South America, El Salvador, I think it was. And she said she had to pray for everything she got. And she would pray, and 6 months later she would get it, and she really needed it 6 months before. So my wife and I talked about that, and I talked to Eve about it, about what should we put in there. Flashlights were at the top of the list, and they're AAA flashlights. So we send them out with the alkalines that it comes with, and as soon as those go dead, you discard those, and from then on you use rechargeables. So a lot of flashlights, triple power pucks, so it'll charge up about 300 AA batteries. And a King James Version Bible. Now, every missionary has his own Bible, but there come those times where you don't have it readily available, or the person you're talking to needs one. There it is. That's the package there. A couple of flashlights. I made the flashlights like a his and hers, so if there are a lot of couples do that. So that flashlight will put your eye out. Be careful.
Well, it's quite bright. She almost blinded herself.
Accidentally turned it on.
So that's how we progress through. The charger is always the same. The batteries are the same, but we put in more of the adapters and more things that you can use outside of just charging batteries. And I just a tip for you: when the hurricane came through here in October, the one I talked to you about, I went out to look for lights prior to the hurricane. And I went to the dollar store, and you may want to do this. Go to the dollar store, and I found little gooseneck desk lamps that had 5 LEDs on them, and they took, I think it was 2 batteries. So I bought about 10 of those, because we have lots of batteries, and put them around the house. And when the power went out, it was pretty much like the power didn't go out. It lit up the rooms nicely, and they cost about $1 a piece. So next time you're in the dollar store, go look around. They come in handy.
Awesome. Okay, so if anybody has a question, please feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your questions. I can't.
Anyone? Bueller?
Anybody have a question? Okay.
I've unmuted.
Okay. Who?
Say again?
Angelo.
Hi, Angelo.
Oh, there he is.
I have your battery. One thing you haven't mentioned is the charge time on it. I left the salt water in overnight, and it just ate the pucks up. So you got to stay pretty close to whatever the 3-hour time limit you put on them.
So let's talk about that. It takes about the initial charge on the batteries. Presume they've been laying around for a while. So for 1,000 milliamp hour batteries, they normally charge in about 4 hours. I charge them about 6 hours the first time. And overnight is not unreasonable, but when you open it, you'll see a fair amount of magnesium hydroxide in there that you have to clean out. But it's only gone down maybe 1/16 of an inch. It did. I mean, the pucks are pretty big in there. So what you wanted to say again?
My pucks are totally eaten up. I had to discard them.
Really? Okay. How?
We did that. I did that back in Georgia last spring when we were down there for the conference.
Were they single power pucks, or were they our new bigger ones?
I think it was the older ones.
Yeah, early on there was just one puck.
Oh no, it was 2 pucks.
I mean, there's one anode, 2 pucks, but 1 anode in each puck. They're about a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, I bought these about 2 years ago from you.
Okay, so let me tell everybody, you charge by time. It takes about 4 hours to charge 6 1,000 milliamp hour batteries, and it takes about 1.5 times that much to charge 2,000 milliamp hour batteries. This is a fuel cell. It's a magnesium air fuel cell. So, and that means that when it's in there with water, it's making power, and the on-off switch is the salt water. So you can probably leave it overnight. If they're big batteries, it would be fine to leave them overnight because that's about how long it takes to charge them. But you don't want to let it sitting around with with water in it and no load on it, because it does just exactly what you said, eat up the power pucks.
One suggestion, I know your kits are pretty full, but a small funnel would help for putting the salt in and the water in. But that is a fairly small hole to try to pour that into.
I'll tell you what. What I use around the shop is one of these squeeze bottles, and you
That's
can
what I
find.
have now.
Say again.
I have one of those now, but I said in your kit, if you're out in the field and if you have to use the salt and find your water someplace else, just a little funnel as small as that you can carry, in your kit, rather than just another bottle or another accessory. I know they have the little bitty funnels for filling oil bottles with. It's just a small metal funnel. It's only maybe a half-inch tall, maybe an inch tall, and it's the right size to fit in that opening.
Well, we'll look at that. We're running out of room in the boxes, but
Your box is pretty packed full now. But if you find room, a small funnel would be a help in them.
I've been searching for collapsible funnels that go down almost flat.
Okay, so can I interject here?
Sure.
For people who are prepping with natural alternatives, and you learn how to do a field remedy, and you can take homeopathic, or actually you can take herbs, turn them into a tincture, turn the tincture into a homeopathic field remedy, right? You have little funnels, okay? And if it's metal, then stainless steel, not only could you use it for doing your natural alternatives, but you could also use it if you have problems getting the water into the unit, for the unit, because both of them, when you're pouring into a 1 ounce bottle, it's going to be a small funnel anyway. So that way you don't have to have multiple funnels, and you have options. I love options. So anyways, I just throw that one out there, because I know a lot of people on here are learning how to do all of that. And so it's also a great one, but get a stainless steel. No collapsible plastic, because they can't use that one if they are trying to do something natural alternative. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay. A sticky
do
note.
whatever you want to, Alan. I give you permission.
A sticky pad note works pretty well too. Just roll it into a cone and you have a funnel.
That's true. There you go.
There we go.
That'll work. Okay, does anybody else have any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what you do with the pucks. What's the purpose of the puck? How does it work?
Let me show you. Can you see this? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When you pull this, these pucks come out,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to see the inside. Inside of here, it's difficult. There you go, right in here.
Uh-huh.
That's the cathode side of the fuel cell. Okay, the reaction, it makes electricity when you add water between the puck, and these have been used a fair amount of times. Between the puck and the water and the cathode material, they make electricity. What they really do is the salt water hits the puck and turns it into magnesium hydroxide. And when it does that, it does two things. It makes a small amount of hydrogen, and it bubbles up through this hole. I don't think, yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
There's a little hole in the middle of there. So a little bit of hydrogen bubbles up there, not much at all. And it makes a ton of free electrons. Well, this proprietary cathode material in here is 97% efficient. So it scoops up those electrons and puts them on these bus bars in the front of the unit, and it becomes usable electricity. So the puck is a sacrificial anode, much like the zincs on a boat. The zincs on a boat take the electricity away from the hull penetration so they don't rust out. This does that backwards. It makes magnesium hydroxide, and in turn makes a ton of free electrons. Magnesium hydroxide is milk of magnesia. So when you're done, it's environmentally benign. You just pour it out.
So that's actually what you use to charge the little batteries.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
I think so. And then how do you, so you can take those little batteries and put them in your cell phone? I'm not sure how you.
Yeah,
So
can
how
you
does that
open up
work?
one of your cell phone,
Yep.
Eve? Your cell phone charger?
Yep, it's right here.
No, take it out of there. Pull the cover off.
He wants them to be
Oh,
able to
okay.
see.
Okay, inside here. I want to see inside. Can I see inside? Is that the front or the back? Yeah, that accepts 4 batteries, and you put them in series, and it makes 5 volts. Show her the USB output.
Okay.
On the front of that, you plug a USB into there, and it's also a flashlight. You put a USB in there, and the other end has an adapter for whatever phone you have. So you charge up 4 batteries in the unit, put them in the cell phone charger, plug that into your phone, and you're charging your cell phone out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so the unit also comes with, here, we're pulling it out.
Sorry, it was in the package.
Okay, so there are, where's
And
my
then
camera?
Your camera's up here.
Okay, so there are all these pieces.
It has an iPhone 3.4 adapter, an iPhone 5.6 adapter, a mini USB, and a micro USB, and that will charge about 1,000 different things when there's no power around at all.
Okay, so I guess I'm a little confused. So when you put the batteries in the phone, it
In the phone
charges
charger.
yourself,
Okay, in the phone charger.
Here, hold on. a
and
second.
the charger which charges your cell phone battery.
Yes.
Okay, I got it now. Okay.
And it plugs in using your charge
Here, you don't have to
just
do
like
that. I
your
can
charge cord.
just plug this in.
Okay.
I was just gonna show
We
you.
can
You don't have to plug it into the wall. You just plug it into your charger.
Exactly.
Correct. If you'd like, I can plug mine in and show you.
I understand now. I was just,
Okay.
you put the batteries in your phone, and I was like, how do you do that? But I got it now. You put it in the charger.
Okay, correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have a question or comment? Has anybody purchased one and never opened it up and maybe has a question of Allan? If you have and you have never used yours, please pull it out and use it. It doesn't do you any good sitting in a box. I meet people all the time in disaster areas who have all sorts of stuff that they've purchased and they don't know how to make anything work. The beautiful thing is right now, you can pull things out of the box, try it, and Allan answers his phone or will return a call. So if you have questions now is the time to ask them, or later when you have a unit, if you pull it out, test it out right away, get those batteries in there, start charging them, make them a part of your everyday life. It's amazing when you don't have to go out and buy batteries, how you can take that money and start setting it aside for something else. If you use a lot of batteries like we do in our household, you can pay off your unit really quickly just on the amount of batteries that you have saved. So, and then start setting the bonus money aside to purchase something else that you might need for your preparedness. So, Vicki, did you have a question?
Just two. Number one, Allan, what is the name of your website?
It's greennovative.com.
And do you have a video of yourself demonstrating the units?
I don't, not on my website, but I have the little one that I will make the little one that I made today available. I'll get that on my on YouTube here in the next day or so.
I'm one of the ones that got one and never opened it. I'm so intimidated by all this stuff. It's ridiculous.
I'll tell you what. When you say, okay, I'm going to jump off the high board and give this a try, give me a call and I'd be happy to walk you through it.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm embarrassed to admit that, but
No, there are a lot of people that do exactly what you did. They buy one, they put it on the shelf, and they think, okay, when I need it, I'm going to use it. Well, you got to figure out how to drive it first. So use it a couple, 3 times, then rinse it out real well, and then put it back on the shelf. Then,
okay. Thanks.
And Vicki, Allan is sincere. If you need his help, call him.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
my most memorable one was a lady that called me at 11 o'clock at night from Las Vegas. Said, oh, I forgot what time it was back there. Can you help me with this? Are you in Las Vegas, Vicki?
No. East Coast.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
Hey, Alan, this is Angela. I've got one more quick question.
Sure.
The rubber plugs, if you lost them, do you have a replacement, or do you have to buy a whole new unit to get the replacement rubber plugs?
Call me. I'll send you one.
I have not lost them. That was just a question that popped in my head. But if I lost them, you know, what can you do if you don't have them?
You can use the unit without them in there at all if you don't jostle it around a lot.
Okay.
And the one on the side is intended to be, well, it's to make it not leak, but it's a level indicator. When you pour there and it dribbles out.
Yeah, then you put the plug in and
right.
Go.
So you can use it sitting on there if it's not in your backpack. But if you lose one, give me a call and I'll shoot one out to you.
Okay, that was just a question that if you lost it, if you had to replace the whole unit, just get 2 rubber plugs.
Bubble gum, whatever it takes, you know.
Okay.
Hi, Alan. It's Damien.
Hey.
I just wanted to reiterate again, as we were responding to disaster relief, and we were sending these things to Puerto Rico, I was really, because I didn't know what type the batteries were. And she asked me that question, and they do ask you that question when it comes to shipping batteries when you're sending things overseas. And I was really worried that it wasn't going to be able to be sent. But when I called you and you said, yeah, it's nickel metal hydride, they didn't have any problem. But they are very apprehensive. You cannot ship these things through the Postal Service if they're lithium ion. They will not ship those batteries. They have to be specially packaged, and the Postal Service will not take them. So it's nice that these you can send to people that are, you know, different states for gifts and even disaster preparation stuff. So we sent quite a few to Puerto Rico, and it was nice to know that they can make it that way. Where the lithium ion, they won't take them.
And it has nickel metal hydride stamped on the side of it.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, right? Okay. Yep.
Brenda, thank you for the YouTube link. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have a question? I know we're getting close to our hour. So we always try to keep this exactly at an hour unless people have, you know, more questions and stuff. But if you have a question, please ask. Otherwise, no. www.greenevative.com. I'm going to let Alan come back up. He has it on his back banner there. The code word you want to use is heritage. If you have any questions, you can call Alan or you can call me. This is the one product that when I am speaking around the U.S., it's the one product I take to promote out because it's truly something I really believe in. So whenever I'm speaking, if Alan's there, I quick zip by. You should see people's faces, and I just start pulling units off of his table, and then I keep on going, and people are like, oh my goodness, what is that woman doing?
It's so funny.
She isn't paid.
People think she steals all the time.
Okay, but truly from the bottom of my heart, it really is something. There are different things in disaster preparedness you really need to have a game plan for. And where most of you know me for promoting natural alternatives, this is one item in a whole different category that I'm going to tell you want. If you have scented candles or even candles at all, I will tell you that that odor that just from lighting a candle, scented or non-scent, can draw people to you. So if you don't want to put an odor up, but you still want to be able to have light, this is such a great way to do it. You're not having to tote so much stuff. You've got a small unit that you can take with you, but I love the fact it can save you money every single day. So, I can sit here and hold up all different, we've kind of had generations of Allan's unit, right? And multiple ones, because we just don't ever want to be caught without it. So we have units everywhere, and whether they're out at our property, in our vehicles, in our home, just so that we have the option because we know how well they work. So,
don't be unitless.
A don't be unit. Hey, one is none, but in this case, I want lots of options. Whatever vehicle I'm in, I'm one of those, just because I know in a moment, in an instant, your life can be just catapulted into chaos. And if you're at home, great, you have everything at home. But if you're in your car, and maybe you're 200, 300, 400, 500 miles away, what are you going to do? And so for us, every vehicle, our home, out at the property, wherever we might be, in our emergency go bags. I mean, we have this stuff that we need. And so I just encourage each of you to do the same. I'm grateful, Allan. Thank you for the generous discount that you're offering. My students and people who, over the time have attended an event or read my book or whatever. I really appreciate that.
I put the link up on the chat. You can just click on that and it'll take you to our website.
Okay, and if you don't move, I'm going to stop talking so you go back up.
Well, they also put that in the chat box. So
okay.
As long as anybody goes to chat, you'll get to go to the links for Allan's website, his YouTube video, and also the discount code. And he's generously giving it for 2 weeks. It will be good for.
Okay, so for 2 weeks. Thank you, Allan. That's awesome. I appreciate that one.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to say in closing? I guess nobody else has any questions.
Yes. Brenda, thank you very much for your feedback. I hope your son is enjoying this, and I hope it helps him. It does come in handy. I thank you, everybody, for your patience and for your interest. Eve, I'm honored to be the first live member on your show, or the first member of your live show. That sounded better. Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to be doing, I think our next one that we're going to be doing is with David Jones. Allan has been on David Jones's show. He has Prepping with the Joneses. And so I'm actually going to be on his radio program next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. And then I believe it's the 27th that David is going to be here. He's the nuclear biological chemical guy. He is an expert in his field. He is somebody that I met years ago when him and I sat together on a panel of experts. And so once again, David is somebody I have history with. Just like Allan, David and I have some history just being out there trying to help prepare. So thank you all for joining us.
I have one more thing.
Okay, yes.
One more thing.
Okay.
I want to leave you with the thought, since it's a biofuel device, if you're alive, you have power.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I love that. That's my favorite thing. It just so excited me when I heard that you could actually use your urine to make that unit. In fact, can we just quick share that story? There was a guy that came to an event, and Allan finally started telling people, I'm like, Allan, you got to let people know they can use their urine. Okay, they're preppers. They're people who want to have options. And so he shared it with a guy, and this guy went out into the bushes. Right?
Not even the restroom.
He didn't even use the restroom. He went to the bushes. Okay, it was like we're at a convention center. So anyways, and he came in and let Allan know, yep, the urine really did work.
Not only did he let me know, he was about 50 yards away when he started screaming and shaking the thing above him and saying, hey, it works. I went out to the truck and charged up all my batteries. It worked. Yes. The other thing I want to tell you is it's EMP safe. So you don't have to worry about a Faraday cage, that sort of thing for it. It will live through the EMP pulse.
And that's really important too. Thank you for sharing that, because I neglected to do that. So thank you. That's important as well. So I think, Allan, can you see, it shows one more question.
That was a thanks.
Oh, okay. She just said thank you. All right. So you all have a wonderful night. God bless you all. Thank you for joining us. Again, Allan, did you put, on your website, there's a way for them to contact you. So
my phone number and an email, either way.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Allan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for this wonderful device that I have fallen in love with. And thank you for being a part of our family and for helping us to make a difference.
It's my pleasure.
You and
Thank
your
you.
wife have been awesome in helping us in the disaster areas, and we greatly appreciate your help. Okay,
Thanks.
so
Good night,
have
everybody.
a wonderful evening, everybody.
Okay.